discipline keeps you empowered, and even though getting sick will cost you your empowerment in all your life, when you're disciplined, it will keep you empowered.
Yes.
So this is focalized so you rise.
I think if knowing awareness is important when you're sick, because you need to know what your state of the state of how you're sick, and what you can and cannot do, what you need to do to get better, and where you're at, so that you can get better quickly, and you don't do too much and make yourself worse.
Yeah, I
So that's
totally agree.
yeah.
So, people who are watching me, this is not makeup. Actually, the filter from Kat Von D makes me look good. But I've got this allergy right here, so I've got puffy eyes. If I would probably put filter off, you would see it a little bit better. But
Mm.
let's not. So here's the thing. I got this new skincare product for my face, and I thought this is going to be amazing. And she said, "Yeah, this is going to help you, against aging and all." And I
Mm-hmm.
put it on. In the evening, nothing. Morning, still okay. And then evening again, and all of a sudden this started, and it started itching right here. And I just wanted to scratch, and of course you can't scratch in your face. And it instantly brought me back when I was in Spain last year. And then I thought it was because of the sunlight and swimming in the pool. And I was like, how can I have a sun allergy just on my face? And that's all. So, hi, Olivia. So now I
Hello.
figured out, because the one who sold me this said, yeah, there are algae in there. And I was like, yeah, but that other stuff I used when I was on holiday over there, it had plankton in there, which of course is an
Uh,
algae too.
yeah.
So, and I had the exact same
Mm-hmm.
reaction back then. And I even bought a hat. And so it totally makes sense. So
Yeah.
I've been sleeping a lot, and uh, well, I love working together with you. We came up with some stuff, and you're going to do most of the show today.
Yeah.
Although this does get me energized, going live.
Yeah.
But you came up with some great uh, uh, things to talk about. So you came up with 5 points to consider when you're
Yeah.
feeling sick and hence not are empowered. And for those who do not know, empowered is Michael's word. So,
It is.
um,
But
so
before I go into the list, I'll tell you why I thought of it. I'm a very healthy person. My wife says I have the immune system of the gods.
oh
I
wow,
When you told me about your allergy, it made me think of the one time I have ever had an allergic reaction. I was 13, and I was in seventh grade, and we were dissecting a frog. And I put those rubber gloves on, or the latex gloves on, and I didn't know I was allergic to latex, but the powder got into me, and then by the second period, I was like scratching, and so my mother picked me up, and she took me to the doctor. From the time she was in the doctor's office, she went to the bathroom and came back, and my face was out to here. I was all red. My throat was closing up. It was that quickly.
yeah, that's
So
true.
they had to give me a shot of Benadryl
Yeah,
to get me back, make me better. So that made me think of it. The first thing is awareness. You need to know what your level of sickness is, what you can and cannot do, um, and you need to listen to it, because if you do more than you think, even though, I mean, guys get like, oh, I can do everything, but if you do too much, you're gonna get worse and worse, and be in a worse position than you are right now, and that'll cause you to be in bed for longer, sick longer, out of work longer, away from your family longer. And so that's a big step for that whole thing.
Yeah. I would add to it that you also need to figure out what is it that is actually the reason for you not being or feeling okay, so you
Oh
can
yeah.
actually do something about it. And of course, I didn't know back then. Now I do, and for days I've already been taking medication, which reminds me that I am going to step out for just a second. I'll be listening, but I need to take some more because now that my hair is loose, it's irritating all over. so, yes, so it's important to know what is causing it and telling it to other people and talking about it. So
Oh
while
yeah.
you go to number two, I'm going to step out for a sec. I'll be
Remind me
right
what
back.
what number two is for a second.
So number two is distractions. Keep
Yeah.
one thing in mind. Focus
Yeah.
on this, and no matter what happens, just
Okay.
so
Go
that's
ahead.
basically
Go
what
ahead.
we've been doing today.
Go
I'll
ahead.
be back in a sec.
Distract. To me, distractions. You need to know. You need to be focused, and you need to be thinking about your health first. Because if you're not focused on your health, it's just going to get worse, and you won't be able to take care of anything, and you won't be able to take care of your family or your other responsibilities. So you need to be focused and let the let the distractions go. You can think about them, but don't dwell on them, which is another reason why meditation is important, which is why I do it, is because you need to be able to think about what's that 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 distraction, but you can't dwell on it. You can't repeat it. You can't like let it harp. And I'm a big overthinker, and I just make things worse. I have situational depression, so I'll think about something that'll go wrong, and then I'll just harp on it and keep going with it and keep going with it and make it worse. So I'm still working on that and trying to make it better. But that's a
So you're
big.
basically looping,
I'm what?
looping. It's
Oh yeah,
looping in your mind.
I'm a big looper with my bad thoughts and negative self-talk. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, as for me, I was like, this is what I want to do. And nowadays, we prepare for it a couple of days in
Hmm.
advance. I love when you said it, that we needed to do it. So that's what I've been doing, talk about discipline. Um, so when I knew I needed some more sleep today, early in the evening, for me, it's in the middle of the night right now, for those who don't know. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, but I need to contact you
Big.
because we need to make that thumbnail.
Yeah.
Was it you wanted to say?
No, I just said it's only 6 for me.
Yeah, yeah, and it's past
Kind of
three.
it's kind of weird having that much of a time difference.
9 hours, Michael. Nine
Yeah,
hours.
that's crazy.
Yeah, but I still love it, that we can work together and just do it despite everything. And to my surprise, my neighbors were still awake too. So they just left to go home, which was very surprising to me. So, so for me, it was like, I need to do this. This is what I need to do today. I want to get it done. I want to get the thumbnail done in time so we can actually tell Instagram that we're going live at a certain time. And I think
Hmm.
we managed. And, and when I was doing it, because I had changed my background colors this weekend, um, I don't know, you weren't on Movement Makers last Thursday, were you?
No, I couldn't make it. No,
Oh,
I had
okay.
a car.
We looked at my channel. And for those who do not know what Movement Makers is, Evan Carmichael's the YouTube expert, and I asked him to take a look at my channel. And then he started talking about thumbnails. So the thumbnails are those little pictures that you see
Hmm.
when you look at a video. And
Yeah.
so the thing is, it has to be readable when you're on your phone. And truth be told, I was more likely to switch to my iPad when making the thumbnails than doing it on my
Yeah.
phone. So that's
That's another
probably a clue.
that's another reason why I picked my colors, because yellow is very easy to be read on the phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when I made the Instagram post, I asked you, what are your colors?
Hmm.
And you said it's purple and yellow, which are the colors
Purple
of
and
empowerment. So tell
yeah.
me a little bit more.
No, I looked online to see what colors meant what word, because there's a whole site dedicated to logos and what they mean and what words go with what and what logos mean. So I looked up to see what empowerment meant and what color went along with empowerment, and it's purple and gold, purple and yellow.
Cool, cool. So I've got the dark blue because besides loving the color blue, in case one doesn't
Yeah.
notice,
Well, favorite.
it's also for relaxation and for
Yeah.
calmness, and it's also the waves in the background. So and when I go to the ocean, I feel relaxed. I just need to stay away from the algae from the ocean. That's what I've learned
Yeah.
now. But so that's why I used it, and I actually have the Chikara logo, so which is this one.
Oh, very
Um,
cool.
yeah, it's if you would see it in the right way, it would be this way because it's mirrored now.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this is mirrored, which is actually for strength, the symbol. But it's going to be a little bit hard to incorporate that in the background. So I'm cool with this. And so when it comes to discipline, I've been working ever since last Thursday to get all the stuff the way it should look. And I'm actually kind of pleased with the combination of the two of us.
Yeah. Me
So
too.
yeah, so and I love your explanation about what it means. So number three, um, yeah. So going back to number two, distractions. Keep in mind what you want to focus on. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
because if you have you're going to have distractions, but the trick is not to dwell on them,
Yeah.
to acknowledge them, but like gloss over them as quickly as possible.
Yes, absolutely. And because of this, you are probably limited in doing certain things. So choose wisely. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
And also like what we are doing right now, you can actually see it gives me energy. I love doing this
Yes.
with you.
Yeah.
So okay, so number three, there's no alignment between body and mind.
Well, yeah. 'Cause I thought of that one because when you're sick, like the you can't you want to go, you want to do things, so your mind is better off, but your body can't. So and you're a lot of times I'm just be stuck in bed, and if I'm sick, and I'll want to go, I'll want to do something, I'll want to be busy and have things on my mind that I want to get done, but you can't because you're worn down, run down, and you're sick. So that's where that came from. Just having your body and mind on two separate sides of the coin, where you can't bring them together for at least a short amount of time, however long you're sick.
Yeah, we could probably, we in general visualize while we're in bed. So
Hmm.
your mind actually gets to do what it wants to do. It's just that your body just remains, you know,
Yeah,
not doing anything. And that could help that moment that you are feeling good again. You already did a number of times what you wanted to do. So you're more inclined to actually doing it.
yeah,
And you know how to do it efficiently and have fun with it once you are going to do it. So, um, apart from visualizing, I came up with something else. I said, share your story. Let others empower you by standing next to you and taking over, like today. And I actually have to say, I kind of like it.
If if you can talk to someone who can tell you their story and inspire you and get you and change your mood, that's very important if you're sick. Yeah, because that'll, I think, maybe not make you, maybe not help make you healthier sooner, but it'll at least make the time that you're sick better.
Yeah, but also it's about helping out because you knew that, and that's what I warned you about. Like, okay, I'm feeling awful right now, and again, talking to you makes me
Yeah,
feel really energized. So
yeah,
it's a little bit weird. So before I went on live, I was like, oh my God, my eyes, everything is swollen. And now we're talking, and I'm like, and also, exchanging our stories
yeah.
and hearing your take and how you came to this, that makes me like, hey, cool. That's me. So
Under
it's
perspectives, yeah,
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So there are so many reasons to say, um, talk to other people because there's going to be the discrepancy. But there are a couple things that you can do despite not being at your best.
oh
So
yeah.
have you ever? You go
What
on.
was that? You can change your breathing, change your physiology, try to change your thinking as much as possible. I think all of that'll it puts you in a different mood, and it will help you get healthier quicker. It'll just like
Yeah.
make you feel better, even if you're still sick. Really, it'll make you feel better on some level, I think.
Well, that's basically what we are experiencing, or what I am experiencing right now. That because we are talking to one
Yeah,
another, I do instantly feel better.
yeah.
So
You're energized, but once the show is over, you might crash.
yeah, so and that's
Anyway,
why I took the medication I just took is kind of strong medication, and I
yeah,
don't want to use it during the day. So I'm keeping it at a level that's on the low end, because I can manage.
yeah.
Uh, I mean, if I were to choke, that's a different story. I'm not choking, so um,
I'm
but
a
it's.
choker. I'm a choker.
I'm sorry.
I, I'm a choker. I don't swallow big pills very well. I have a very
Ah.
high gag reflex.
Yeah, well, that's why I took these ones. These ones prevent me from. They call it dispersible. Is that the correct translation? So it melts in your mouth.
Um, what did you say?
Dispersible.
Um, I don't know that. I think it's
Yeah.
different than.
I mean, I wouldn't know I know what it says here in the Dutch language, and that's not even comprehensible. So for the layman out there, it's putting it in your mouth, not having
Yeah,
to swallow.
chewable. Yeah,
Yeah, and that's kind of hard to get by the way. So I really had to go through some hoops in order to get it done. So the fourth thing, negative self-talk.
yeah. I'm a pro at this one. Especially if I'm left alone. When I'm sick and I'm left alone and I'm just in my bed all day, I tend to harp on one thing and focus on it, and it gets worse. So the trick with that is just distracting. Well, that second reason, distracting yourself and changing your thinking and changing your thoughts so that you can get on a different level of focus and you can focus on something more easygoing and more happy and just change your mood. That's the idea.
Yeah, that's so true. So do you know why there's negative self-talk when you're not feeling okay and when you're sick? Is there a specific reason or?
For me, it's probably because I'm doing less than I want to, and because of that, I'm feeling run down, and even worse than I'm feeling because of the sickness. It's just a matter of feeling, I'll say it, more worthless and more lazy because of your physical state, and that just makes you feel worse in every way.
Yeah.
At least,
So you, of course, know that that's not true. That
yeah,
we all love seeing you here.
deep down, deep down, and
That you're anything but lazy. I mean, you're kind of busy every time we try to make like get together. It's always like
yeah,
you're doing something.
yeah, yeah. My wife just got a second job, so I had to pick her up from work before we started here. Came home, and then I was good. Then I came home after picking her up, ate quick, and then I started.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
totally get it.
yeah.
So, um, so what I wrote down is ask yourself, is you being sick really your fault? And in your case, we can say, of course, it's not. In my case, I can say the same because I didn't know I had an allergy for algae. Oh my gosh, I didn't even know it existed. Although I always said I don't want any seafood, so no snails, no shrimps, all that stuff. I always said
Yeah.
no, 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 no. So that's probably
I
because I knew.
I love seafood.
Yeah, yeah, it's
If I could eat
I love the seaweed
crabs, I'm
though.
good.
Yeah,
If I
it's
eat lobster, I'm
oh,
good.
you do. The big ones?
If I could eat lobster and crab for the rest of my life, I'm good.
Ah, okay, okay. Well, it probably makes sense now that I didn't eat those. Um, yeah. No, I like watching them when they're alive.
Yeah.
And no, let's stick to that part. You're going totally
Okay.
somewhere else. Um, sorry, I'm standing in in front of such a big glass tank, looking at them swimming around, and it's so funny because when I'm in the grocery store, well, the big one, of course, and I'm walking up there to the glass tank, they actually come towards you.
Hmm.
It's kind of funny to see.
Yeah.
So that's where my mind drifted off. Um, So what I wanted to say is, could we have prevented this? Uh, well, I mean, those things are debatable, of course. There are some things that you can say you could have known. I mean, um, take for instance, like using drugs.
Hmm.
Um, and when you have started to not using them anymore, and after a year you're bold enough to say, I'm going to use it again just for an evening. That's such a thing that's really debatable because you know you shouldn't because you've got an addiction. But then again, I can understand why people could be tempted. But being sick afterwards, and that probably repeats it. Well, you can probably feel down for weeks, maybe even months because of that one time.
Yeah.
That's one thing. If I would be putting that stuff again on again, of course, you could say something similar to me too. Uh, I'm not, by the way. This is going to be, far away. Would this have been a sun allergy? You could say, okay, you need to take that stuff with you that protects you from the sunlight, um,
Hmm.
which might help you. So there are some things you can do about it, and there are some things that you cannot do about it. So it's like controversial, but normally we can say we didn't choose to be sick, and we didn't get out there to get sick
Yeah.
normally. And and here's the thing: what did we learn that we can change? So I've learned that I need to be more careful with skin products, probably with the food too, but especially with skin products. Um, and that's the thing. Like, okay, maybe for some people, like for me, warmth is better. That's better for my
Mm.
joints. That's something I've learned. That's why I want to get away from the Netherlands in the cold days. I only want to be in sunlight. My physical therapist says it straight away. The same day that the sun shines outside and it's warm, you can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
I
yeah.
the it's funny. The allergic reaction I had years later. I was at an amusement park, and I tried on a rubber mask, and I wasn't thinking, and it was latex, so I started getting a rash. So I had to throw away this mask that I had just bought because of that, and I had Benadryl pills because I have them on me always, just to counteract that reaction. So I didn't learn, but now I learned. But yeah,
Well, you've got pills
that
with you. That's
that was
what you've
over
learned.
20 years ago. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I always have an EpiPen and a Pantol pills with me.
Yeah, I should have those too, but I'm horrible when it comes to the EpiPen. So I do have them, but um, whoo, oh, something just fell down the light. Yeah, it's balancing on something.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do have this stuff with me, and I actually fought for it to get it again. So yeah. So number 5, slow recuperation.
Yeah, that's just a matter of taking care of yourself and looking out for yourself and listening to yourself because you can't. Well, you can rush yourself and try and do more and go back to the way you were, but that's just gonna slow down your recuperation even more and make yourself worse and make yourself feel better, make it feel worse and feel worse mentally and physically. So you need to take care of yourself. That's just all it is. Just take care of yourself and listening to yourself and thinking about yourself and being okay with taking a break.
Yeah, I agree. So here's the thing. When I was still working for a boss, um, and of course because I grew up, being the tough girl, also all of this being before Corona ever hit,
Yeah.
I would keep on working even when I was sneezing and coughing and all that stuff because that was the norm. That's how
Yeah.
I'd been raised, and no one said stay away. As a matter of fact, I remember the opposite. If I would say I don't feel good, they would call me, are you feeling better again? So, if that happens once or twice, then that's enough, and you just keep on going. Nowadays, I've learned that I do need to take my breaks also during the day, but also when I'm not feeling good. And especially when you know that your body is rising when it comes to temperature and you're sweating, stay away from any office. Stay away from your job. Maybe you want to check in if you can work from home, like 10 minutes or something. But there's a reason you're not good, and trying to take medication in order to
Hmm.
suppress it, that's not going to really help you as opposed to not taking any medication, just taking the healthy supplements
Hmm.
and resting.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you, but you also have to think about people being afraid of losing their jobs.
Well, sure, that's it. That's what I meant when I still was working for a
I
boss.
don't know
That
how it is over there, but over here, that's a big concern.
Yeah, I understand that you can basically be put out of a job within a day. Is that true?
Sometimes it depends on where you're working, who you're working for, your prior history. Yeah, it depends on a lot of things.
Okay. Yeah, so here in the Netherlands,
No.
they have to, it takes 2 years, and then they can actually say, okay, you're fired. And but they have to, especially when you have a fixed contract,
Hmm.
as opposed to temporary one. I think if you have temporary one and you get sick, you have like a year, um, and then if you don't have one or you have a fixed one, then you have like 2 years, and then the government takes over.
Okay.
Of course, you don't get full pay. You get less, and you have to take all these tests and talks, and why can't you work, and what can you do? So you might end up at a cookie factory, taking things, wrapping them, whatever it is, which doesn't make you happy. But I said to someone else, one of my clients, I said, well, if they would want me to work like 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and it's long ago or that I actually worked like 5 days a week,
Hmm.
I wouldn't be able to do that anymore. And I said, give me my breaks, and in that 1 or 2 hours that I work, I do more than anyone else in 8 hours, because that's the way I work. When I work, my energy is high, and I can get things done like. So, but yeah, it's and this is the thing, like, okay, and maybe that's the biggest lesson of all of this. What is your what are your surroundings telling you and making you do, and how is that affecting your health?
Oh, environment has a lot to do with how you feel and um, how you think about yourself. I think. See, I think it's important to just build your environment to serve you
Yeah,
and your needs and what you might want, need, and uh, what'll make you feel good, what'll make you smile. Because smiling and laughing are two huge factors of how you feel.
I agree. I
Because
totally agree. It's very healthy
if you're
to
depressed, I mean,
laugh.
you can be depressed, you can have depression, you can have what I have, but if you smile for a short amount of time, you'll change your mood. You'll change your mood. It may be
Oh,
fleeting. It might like go back quickly if you stop your mindset or that smile, but at least for that time, it helps.
yeah, that's so true. And when we're talking about discipline, that could be an item on the list. Like, okay, make sure that you rest, focus on the things you want to do, talk to other people about it, but also smile and have fun.
Yeah, yeah.
So do the things that
Having fun
energize you.
is huge. Smiling and having fun is huge. I always tell people the two best things about my marriage: being with my best friend every day, and laughing every day.
Yes.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. And I think that's so important when you can actually have fun together. I
Yeah,
think that's the basis, the whole basis of a great relationship. So
yeah. Because you can have fun by yourself, but it's not the same.
it's definitely not the same. And
Not the
so
same.
yeah, I totally agree. Though, thinking back about certain things or being somewhere, I might just, think about something and totally,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So,
It's random smiles and random laughs and giggles and
yeah,
things switch you like that.
yeah. Well, for people who are wondering if that's correct, just look at me. We are talking. I am smiling. I'm energized.
I'm actually more energized because since you're sick and don't feel good and you wanted me to take more of the lead, I'm actually more energized and more talkative than I've ever been on the show.
Yeah, yeah.
So
So
thank
that's why I actually like it.
yeah.
I actually
You should
like
tell me
this.
that. You should tell
We're
me that
going
more
to
often.
do this more often.
Tell me that more often. Okay.
Yeah, because the challenge is to yeah, well, you said one time that you're not much of a talker
Yeah.
normally, right?
Normally, no. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not.
So this actually
Doing
encouraged you.
lives made me doing these lives have made me better. have made me more outgoing. And yeah, I like it. I enjoy it, but I kind of feel bad because I'm sometimes quiet with my wife. So like, I don't feel like talking with her or talking in general around her, and I talk on here, so I feel bad. But hopefully, I'm getting better just in general. But I've always been quiet.
Well, what I've noticed is doing these lives, it makes it easier to talk to other people, or maybe it's the other way around. I'm not sure, but it gets me more outgoing. So
It's true.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, and I mean we are basically discussing things on here. So we are sharing our opinions, we're
Yeah.
sharing our thoughts, and that makes it just easier to do in day-to-day life.
Yeah. Because normally I wouldn't talk to somebody I don't know. I mean, yeah, if there's something pulling me toward them as far as like a question or just something like that, I'll ask them and put myself out there. But I generally don't do that.
Well, we're going to do this more often, like this.
Yeah.
So brace yourself.
Apparently.
And this is actually kind of fun because when we're talking about discipline and all this stuff and being empowered,
Yeah.
it's because something is going on my end, which is actually making you do things quicker than you probably would have imagined. So, and of course, we've been talking. Now, what are we doing this since February? Something? The show? I'm not sure. Yeah,
At least two
and
months. Yeah.
yeah, and I what I've noticed is like every week
Yeah.
we talk about, okay, how are we going to change this, what are we going to do. And I still remember last week or the week before when you said to me, we need to do this prior to Monday.
Yeah. Yeah.
Think about
We
the topic.
did do it like at least 3 days before the show.
Yeah, yeah. So we still haven't gotten to 3 days,
Yeah.
but
At least
it
I'd
is
be happy with
working.
one. I'd be happy with 2 day, one day, so
Yeah,
we have enough time to do prep. That'd be good.
yeah,
'Cause-
yeah. That's totally true. I'm not that fond of doing it last minute. So yesterday, I think it was yesterday that I said, well, maybe we can do, about discipline. Of course, this came up, so that changed the whole game. And then I was like, but how can we combine it?
things
And that's
things
what,
come things come up things come up. I get that, but yeah,
yeah.
I have to
So
find what
so
now?
one of the things before I was going to sleep was like, I need to do this. I need to create this thumbnail. So I was like, before I'm going to sleep, I'm going to talk with you about what I want to do and I want to talk about, and then we can. But so when it comes to discipline, you are, for me, someone who actually guides me in that right direction by saying, let's do it prior to the show. And it's exactly
Yeah,
what I want. It's just
yeah,
not something I would have considered a couple of days prior to the show.
yeah. Like
So that's good.
perfect example. Like the other show um, I have a guest on. I do the show. The next day, I'm promoting because I know who the next guest is. So it's just a matter of like knowing what you're doing, and then just even small actions. Because I mean, we can the thumbnail itself isn't as important as the content and knowing what we're doing, and knowing what we're talking about.
Yes,
And even
yes.
Evan, which
So yeah, was Evan. Evan keeps asking me when I'm on the verge of creating that thumbnail, like, okay, what do you want to get across? What is it you want to tell the listeners? So that's what I keep in mind now.
yeah,
And
that's
and
great
and
advice.
because of yeah, exactly. And because of what he has told us about, okay, you want to keep some things in mind so people can take something away. Of course, that's something I've known for ages because Brandenburg Chart is teaching that. But that's one of the things I really like when we are, preparing this.
Yeah, Yeah, I do like the action of creating it because it's a collaboration and it's back and forth and it's you texting me and me texting you. I just would like to do it sooner. That's all. But yeah, I do
Yeah,
like that
yeah,
action of
and I
us
agree. I
collaborating.
totally agree. So
Yeah,
that's what we are going to do. But that's, I'm late by nature. It's an awful excuse, I know, but it's literally, I'm slow, in just about anything I do, except when I start talking and get energized and I'm in the hyper
yeah.
mode. That's
And
all.
I'm that way too. I'm a big procrastinator, which is why I try to do things sooner now because I've how I've been for the last 20 plus years.
Yes. Well, it's a good thing because now when the weekend comes up, that's when I know, okay, weekend comes up. Now I'm going to prepare for Monday. And actually, I kind of like it because uh, when doing the show on Monday with you, then on Wednesday, the other one I've got, which is with or without Cheeky Joe, depending on what's going on in our life. And Joe and I don't work like we do.
Yeah.
So Joe just more shares her experiences. Um, and then we got the things going on from Evan and Zen, which are going on Thursday and on Friday. And then all of a sudden it's Saturday. And it's like, hmm, I still want to do something, but what am I going to do? And and working on stuff like this actually keeps me in the flow. So this weekend I've been working on the thumbnails and on the background, um,
Hmm.
which and I got some lovely reactions from a lot of people. So I'm very happy about that. And that's why I asked you prior to the show, like, what are your colors? And I didn't realize that they were purple and gold until
Yeah.
you actually just said it. And I was like, yeah, that of course it does make sense. And it was like, okay, so for a while now, I wanted to make a different thumbnail because the previous one contains all these pictures of us. And if
Yeah.
people don't know this, they may not know, but that's how I started this because it was you and me, and I wanted people to sort of ease in and understand where we were coming from.
Hmm. Yeah.
And now that's all gone, so it's just pure colors and waves, and that's it.
I like the darker background.
Yeah, it's more readable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's more readable. The colors pop and it's more soothing.
My lights are dying.
That's,
First one, now the other. Okay, say again. You like it because?
I like the darker background because the colors pop and the background is soothing.
Yeah. But this is when we talk about discipline, this is what I've been doing. I think for a couple of months now, I've been trying to work on, okay, what's working, what when it comes to colors, to fonts, all that stuff. And um, now we are live, and
Hmm.
we want to write text so people can actually find us.
Yeah.
Then there's of course that it makes sense to have something to offer. Tell people, hey Rosie, if you want to join us
Yeah, Rosie.
live, we are probably in our last minutes, but we would love it if you would come and join us. Um, but and working with all that stuff, and now finally having something that really um,
Hmm.
feels good
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
are we going to invite Rosie? I don't know if she wants to join.
You want to? Yeah, sure.
Let's see. It's probably at the expense of our quality right now. Oh, no, we can't join. No,
Okay.
that's a shame. You never know. So, any last minute things you want to say about sickness, still being empowered? Oh, she says, just stopping by to say
Yeah.
hello.
Just take care of yourself and know where you're at um, physically, mentally, and just yeah, just check in with yourself and ask yourself how you're feeling and what can you do to better yourself, even mentally or physically, and so that you can get better sooner.
Yes, yes, I
And
agree.
take
So
it easy.
focus on what it is you want to do, maintain discipline to do that part, and also the discipline to not do the stuff you actually want to do,
Yeah.
but which is going to make you feel worse in the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, unless you have some final last minute words,
No,
I'm going to
good.
say
Good. That's all I had to say. I really enjoyed this one. This
yes,
one
so did I.
got me out of my shell.
Well, be prepared. The next week, that's going to happen too, and the next ones after too. I really like it. You know, it's so cool to see you. It's like you're blossoming. You know, it's like, hey, there's the real Michael, and we finally get to see you and meet you and
Yeah.
interact with you. I love it.
Good. I'm glad.
So, so thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go.
Okay.
Um, So we're sure that this actually gets uploaded to YouTube because that's
Yes.
something I normally do.
Okay.
and
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know how to do.
uh,
I kind of do, but I kind of don't. I Yeah. You started the live, so you have to do it. I think.
well, actually, because I we are doing a collaboration,
Oh,
it also shows up on your wall.
okay.
And so what I use is, and this is going into a little bit into the tech part. I use InShot, which helps
Okay.
me to make it from vertical to horizontal. So we are
Okay.
next to one another, and
Oh,
then uh, so one app is actually to download it from Instagram. The other one is to make it from vertical to horizontal. Then I put it to another app to add something in front of it and add something at the back. You know,
okay.
like thumbnails and all that stuff. Then I create that into a new video,
Mm-hmm.
which I then go put through a filter because I like it when it looks vintage. And by that time, I upload it to WeTransfer to you.
I just upload.
Yeah, it's actually a lot of hours. So, but you can also do it yourself if that's what you want. It's
I
more
do
like,
Repost Pro.
yeah, and here's the thing, you know, when it comes to the beginning and the ending, it's easier if you do it when all else is already being cut and done.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then you, of course, can choose what you want to do. So, you know, going to the doing this live, we talk about a lot of other stuff that's not going to be on YouTube, or maybe it's going to be in the end on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's what I normally do. So,
Okay.
how about you? Because I have no clue if you are into editing those videos.
Oh, I don't do any editing. I just
Okay,
post them. 'Cause
okay.
I'm a writer and I can talk on video. I can't edit. I don't do editing.
Well, then it's good that I do that stuff.
Yeah. 'Cause I would have no clue.
Well, as long as you just post them, I mean that's why I should put them on WeTransfer so I know you can use it again. And
Yeah.
you know, when I'm on the other end and you were to go live, I expect you to save it and then send it to me too. But
Yeah.
I also know that a lot of people wouldn't. So, and
I get.
it's you know it's yeah it's like you know I haven't done this for months. It's so cool to see how the both of us have changed,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
and that's
Because
also when it comes.
you get more talkative and you open up more. Yeah. Like me. Like right now.
Yeah, well, absolutely, and you're more at ease, so that's good, and you share a little bit more about yourself, and that's also the discipline because even when for some reason you can't make it, I'll keep doing it. And it was likewise when you said, if you can't make it today because you're not feeling good, then I'll take over. Discipline keeps you empowered. Getting sick will cost you being empowered in all areas of your life. But when disciplined, you will remain empowered. So this is focalized, so you rise. And we are with two of us. So if for some reason one of us can't make it, I think it's important that we keep doing this.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Put our message out there about being empowered, about speaking out.
Yeah. Yeah, it is important.
No, I haven't done this for months. It's so cool to see how the both of us have changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's also when it comes.
You get more talkative and you open up more. Yeah, like me. Like right now.
Yeah, well, absolutely. And you're more at ease. So that's good. And you share a little bit more about yourself. And that's also the discipline, because even when for some reason you can't make it, I'll keep doing it. And it was likewise when you said, if you can't make it today because you're not feeling good, then I'll take over.
Oh yeah, because a couple of weeks ago I missed, so I wanted to help you out if I could.
Yeah, and I totally appreciate
I felt
that.
bad.
Yeah, so. Okay, I'm going to let you go so you can move. I'll see you and talk to you soon again.
Okay, yeah, great. Thank you.